All right, guys. Well, once again, for those of you just joining, my name is Max Garza III. I'm calling in out of North America. Tonight, you're going to hear a lot more about Bitcoin and blockchain technology and why it makes us so excited to be partnered with the Power on Xpress and seeing the XeCoin at its genesis, guys. So obviously, as you know, every single person around the world is starting to get more and more excited about decentralized modalities of payment solutions. Now, for those of you that don't know, obviously there's been banking crisis, housing crises, not just in the United States, but all around the world. I mean, if you've been following what's going on in Argentina, India, China, Cyprus, literally, guys, central banking authorities are taking advantage of their global citizens, and people are sick and tired of it. So a little background on why we got so excited about Bitcoin and blockchain technology. We run a financial services company named AAI Financial Services. And at the end of the day, guys, in 2008, we saw what was going on with the housing crisis in the United States. We saw a lot of other things that were happening with banking. But once Lehman Brothers went bankrupt, we knew things were going to change. One of the oldest financial institutions in the world was going bankrupt, right? And lo and behold, a white paper came out talking about Bitcoin, about cryptocurrency, solving the double spend problem of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. So guys, we got super excited because at the end of the day, we understood one thing. Many merchants, many business owners get sick and tired of paying interchange fees from credit card payments. As an example, if let's say you have a store in Canada and you're selling to somebody in Germany, not only do you have to pay interchange fees from credit cards, MasterCard, Visa, Amex, Discover, but you also have to pay FX fees, exchange fees. So the beautiful thing about reading more about Bitcoin and the blockchain technology, obviously it was decentralized. No government owned it. No central banking authority owned it. No one person could mess with it. But for merchants and global citizens, now you could transact instantaneously around the world on a peer-to-peer network, right? So the reason why that's exciting, think about it this way, guys. The reason why banking authorities, governments, many of you know the story about Home Depot getting hacked and millions of people's information was plundered, right? But the reason why we get kind of excited about peer-to-peer networks, it's so much harder to hack a peer-to-peer network. If it's a central authority, kind of like a bank, right, or like a government, or like Home Depot, when people hack those central figures, they have a lot more success. But we read a stat that said if somebody was going to try and hack Bitcoin right now and their blockchain technology, it would cost them about $500 billion every 10 minutes to try and hack it, which is pretty much impossible, right? And as it gets bigger and bigger and you have more nodes on the Bitcoin network, I mean, it just gets more and more impossible to hack it. So obviously it's more secure, it's more efficient, it's cheaper. And if you're a merchant, now you don't have to worry about interchange rates that can range from 2.2 to 8 to 9% on credit card transactions. You don't have to worry about FX fees. Basically, guys, a lot of transactions on a Bitcoin network is pretty much either pennies on the dollar or free. And that's why merchants are starting to have a mass exodus to Bitcoin and blockchain technology. So that's what got us excited, guys, about reading these little things about how blockchain technology is going to help a lot of our business clients, right? And you yourself, if you own a small business or if you work from home, the bottom line is saving money, right? But then also the fact that it's instantaneous. Another thing that we saw, global remittance, sending money around the world. No matter where you live in the world, guys, you have people from other countries, or you have people in your country that send money to family members and loved ones all around the world. Yearly, it's a $580 billion a year industry. And obviously banks, companies like Western Union and MoneyGram, they take a good chunk of that in fees, right? It's somewhere between 16 and 25%. So imagine, guys, all that extra money that people are paying in fees just to send money to loved ones, right? And that's another thing that's going to be solved with not just Bitcoin, but all alternative coins, all cryptocurrency coins, and blockchain technology. Now, even those people that are sending global remittance are going to save a ton of money. Now, imagine, guys, for that family that could use all that extra money to pay for their children's clothing, food, education, I mean, you name it. that money should go to the families, not to the centralized banking authorities or financial companies like Western Union, MoneyGram. And so literally, guys, these are some of the most exciting parts about not just Bitcoin and blockchain technology, but even other alternative coins like XeCoin, Monero, Dash, Ripple, Ethereum. There's so many valuable things that are coming down the pipeline, and all these different coins provide the ability for people like you and me to see it at the beginning and obviously pull the trigger, right? Because so many of us had the ability to purchase stocks, right? Like in the past, I hear stories all the time from my clients saying, man, if I only would have bought Google when it first came out. Man, if I only would have bought Microsoft or Facebook. Literally, we hear these stories every single day. They're like, I would have made hundreds of thousands of dollars. I would have made millions of dollars. And again, I tell people this. The reason why people love cryptocurrency right now is because they love going in and purchasing these coins while they're at a low valuation, and then they hold on to them, right? And as they reach a value where people get excited about now selling them on an open global exchange, and obviously anything that's the margin they make as a profit, right, minus some very minimal fees, people are excited about that, guys. So it's occurring all over the place. But real quick, before I get into the presentation, let me give you a little more information about just Bitcoins in general so that you can have, I'm telling you guys, you're going to have a PhD. I want everybody on this webinar to basically be able to teach their teams why we get so excited when we talk about XeCoin and the Ethereum blockchain. So let's just talk a little more about Bitcoin, because obviously everybody's buzzing about what's going on with all these bubbles, guys. At the last moment that we checked, right now Bitcoin's selling at about $1,034 per Bitcoin. On localbitcoins.com, it's even selling all the way up close to $1,200. So let's talk about what are Bitcoins. Bitcoins are decentralized, purely digital virtual coins exchanged directly between two parties online with no middleman, guys. Like no bank, no government, nothing, right? It's peer-to-peer. Unlike modern fiat money, Bitcoin, which has often been called cash for the internet, is not controlled or backed by any bank or central government authority, like the Federal Reserve, for example. Now, Bitcoins are pieces of computer code, mathematical algorithms, actually, that represent monetary units. There are currently approximately about 12 to 14 million Bitcoins in existence. In all, only about 21 million Bitcoin will ever be generated through the year 2140. Unlike credit card transactions, Bitcoin transactions, which take place internationally every day, are irreversible. They can only be refunded by the person receiving the funds. That's another reason why merchants are very excited, guys. Chargebacks. As you know, chargebacks, you're talking about billions of dollars a year in chargebacks to retail shops, restaurants, I mean, even PayPal, guys. So the fact that they're irreversible is phenomenal for merchants. Now, are Bitcoins anonymous and untraceable? This is a question we get all the time, and we want to answer it tonight. No, contrary to popular belief, they aren't. While Bitcoin users don't have to divulge certain pieces of identifying information like their bank account and social security numbers or physical addresses, a traceable trail of each of the transactions left behind in a public log known as the blockchain. The public record prevents people from spending the same Bitcoins more than once. Now, the reason why that's very, very exciting, guys, was the problem with cryptocurrencies in the past. I mean, cryptocurrency has been around since the 80s, but they never could solve what's called the double spend problem. So basically, let's say that I gave Deborah Jessup, let's just say I gave her 10 Bitcoin back in the day. They really didn't solve how maybe I could turn around and give 10 other Bitcoin, the same 10 Bitcoin to Brian Early. So literally, that's when Bitcoin and blockchain technology launched in 2009, they had solved that double spend problem. Now, Bitcoin exchanges that operate in the U.S. collect personal identifying information from their users, which can be requested via subpoena. So, guys, it's getting more and more anonymous, but at the end of the day, if you're doing business in the United States, obviously you still have to abide by KYC, know your client, or KYB, know your business documentation. Now, how are Bitcoins purchased? Bitcoins are bought online using real analog money, US dollars, Japanese yen, etc., via Bitcoin exchanges and private sellers. Some of the more popular Bitcoin exchanges include Bitstamp, Bitfinex, Kraken, Polynex, Coinbase. There's so many to choose from, guys. around the globe. Now, how can you start using Bitcoin, guys? Because a lot of you in the future could be using XeCoin for physical products from our parent company, Exergonics, being able to trade it for clean, green, renewable energy, carbon credits, you name it, guys. Literally, we're super excited about what's going on with XeCoin. But let's talk a little more about Bitcoin because I want you to have a good foundation on cryptocurrency. So you don't have to master all the technical ins and outs of Bitcoin to start using it. First, you'll need to install a Bitcoin wallet on your computer or smartphone, or you can use a web wallet in the cloud. Some desktop Bitcoin wallets, also sometimes called clients, include Bitcoin QT, Armory, Electrum, Hive, and Multibit. If you use a desktop wallet provider, be sure to back up your computer regularly. Now, mobile Bitcoin wallets like Bitcoin Wallet for Android let you use Bitcoin to pay for items in physical stores that accept them by scanning a QR code or using NFC, which stands for Near Field Communication. Now, many of you that have an Android device, maybe a 6 or 7, guys, or an iPhone 6 or 7, many of you already have that NFC attached to your smartphone, which is awesome. And basically, NFC is the tap and pay, like what you see in a Starbucks, guys. When people tap their phone on something or scan the code, that's NFC is when you tap it. So web wallets such as Coinbase and blockchain.info enable you to use Bitcoin from any browser or mobile device and often offer additional services like current Bitcoin prices and news and the ability to buy, use, and accept the cryptocurrency. Now, once you're signed up, your Bitcoin wallet provider should generate your first Bitcoin address, and you can create more whenever you need one. Now, this is something that people frequently ask, guys. Hey, do I only have one Bitcoin wallet address? No. You can create many Bitcoin wallets, guys. And ultimately, if let's say that you want to create one for every transaction, you can. So now, according to the Bitcoin Foundation, you can share your address with friends and contacts so they can pay you, and then you can pay them in Bitcoin. Now, which companies accept Bitcoin payments? Guys, right now, more and more big brick and mortar type companies are starting to accept Bitcoin. One of the things, if many of you on this webinar tonight have kids, one of the things we're starting to see is the adoption of cryptocurrency, digital cash, through the Xbox network. So many of your kids are able to actually pay for games or upgrades through the Xbox network. I mean, literally the future, your kids right now are already learning how to create BTC wallets. BTC just stands for Bitcoin wallets, and make purchases without having a bank account. Why is that impressive? Because many of you have kids that program your smartphones for you, right? So many of these kids are the same ones that are creating Bitcoin wallets and purchasing games on the Xbox network. So thousands of businesses throughout the world currently accept Bitcoin as a form of payment. While once notorious, as a payment for all kinds of goods online, guys, e-commerce businesses started accepting Bitcoin, right? Etsy vendors, WordPress, Overstock.com, Amazon.com, Expedia.com. Guys, the list is getting bigger and bigger and bigger about the big block type retail shops and companies, travel companies that are taking Bitcoin and alternative coins as payment. So remember, guys, we're talking about companies like Kmart, Sears, Home Depot, and CVS. And this is just the beginning, guys. You're seeing this at its infancy. Now, currently, what are Bitcoins valued at? Obviously, guys, on the market right now, it's hovering between $1,000 to $1,034 per Bitcoin on global exchanges. But then on localbitcoin.com, we saw that people were buying them for about, $1,134 to $1,200. And the market cap right now is at $16 billion, which is awesome. So now the reason why we're so excited is because obviously all of this is preparing us to have the financial grand slam of our lifetimes, right? Because we are now going to see the XeCoin at its very genesis, the only coin that is backed by a commodity, guys, clean, green, renewable energy, plus is also underwritten by physical products from Exergonics, products and services, and then even carbon credits, guys. Why is that so important? Because at the end of the day, remember, Bitcoin is a fiat currency, just like the United States dollar. Guys, in the 70s, my parents told me that Nixon took us off the gold standard. So the dollar basically is fiat currency. So if you give me a dollar today, I trust you, you and I trust our government, and that's what gives that United States dollar its value. But Bitcoin's exactly the same, guys. It's trust-based. It's not backed by gold, not backed by silver, not backed by notes. So obviously with the XeCoin, we're going to see a lot more stability in the market, but also valuation for decades to come. Because remember, guys, what is underwriting the XeCoin? Clean, green, renewable energy, physical products and services from exergonics, and carbon credits. Something that no other coin in the world can even come close to. This is why we get goosebumps when we talk about the XeCoin, right? And for many of you that are seeing this before hundreds of millions of people, obviously when you purchase your XeCoins, many of you are going to hold them. And again, since you're seeing them at 10 cents on the exchange right now, let's say in the future that it goes up to 50 cents, $1, $5, $10, $100. We don't know. We can't tell the future, right, guys? But obviously having a coin that is backed by a commodity, which is energy. I mean, you're talking about an $8 trillion a year commodity, guys, that's backing our XeCoin, and the ability for you to see it at its very genesis. You should be super excited, guys. Like literally, you should not be able to sleep until probably about 2020. And I tell people that because we are so excited to share this story around the world. So as far as this introduction, guys, again, we're just going to go over some more information on Bitcoin because, like I said, I want to give you a PhD in Bitcoin, blockchain technology, and obviously in the future, we'll get a lot more into the XeCoin and the Ethereum blockchain. But let's talk about what started it all. So the introduction. Bitcoin is an innovative payment network and a new kind of money. Bitcoin offers the promise of lower transaction fees than traditional online payment mechanisms and is operated by a decentralized authority, unlike government-issued currencies. So now, Bitcoin uses peer-to-peer technology to operate with no central authority or banks, managing transactions, and the issuing of Bitcoins is carried out collectively by the network. So now, Bitcoin is open source. Its design is public. Nobody owns or controls Bitcoin, and everyone can take part. The reason why that's so exciting, guys, we have 7.5 billion humans on planet Earth, but about 3.5 to 4.5 billion of those humans don't have access to banking infrastructure. But the beautiful thing about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency coins in general is as long as you have a mobile device and an internet connection, you can participate globally in Bitcoin, XeCoin, Ethereum, any kind of cryptocurrency, guys, that has a blockchain technology on a public global exchange. You don't have to ask permission from a bank. That's why this technology is so exciting. Through many of its unique properties, Bitcoin allows exciting uses that could not be covered by any previous payment system. Now, there are no physical Bitcoins, only balances associated with public and private keys. These balances are kept on a public ledger along with all Bitcoin transactions that is verified by a massive amount of computing power. In March 2014, the IRS stated that all virtual currencies, including Bitcoin, would be taxed as property rather than currency. Now, gains or losses from Bitcoin held as capital will be realized as capital gains or losses, while Bitcoin held as inventory will incur ordinary gains or losses. So now, what is Bitcoin? Bitcoin price is so volatile, everyone is curious, obviously, right? There's a lot of bubbles in the market, as we know. Now, Bitcoin, the category creator of blockchain technology, is the worldwide ledger, yet extremely complicated. No one definition fully encapsulates it. By analogy, it is like being able to send a gold coin via email. Now, remember, guys, blockchain technology is going to change human culture. In the future, you will be able to hold, as an example, with the Ethereum blockchain, let's move away from the Bitcoin blockchain so I can give you some more excitement. With the smart contract technology within the Ethereum blockchain, you're going to be able to hold smart contracts. Now, one of the main proponents why people are so excited about the blockchain for Ethereum is, as an example, when Haiti was ravaged by a hurricane, and many of you saw that on the news, many of the paper deeds were washed away, totally destroyed. So many people were arguing about who owned what plots of land. Now, with the Ethereum blockchain, you can put all those land deeds on the blockchain with smart contracts. You can put driving registrations on the Ethereum blockchain. You can put medical records. You can put voting voting statistics. Literally, the list goes on and on and on, guys. But the reason why people are excited about blockchain is because every coin has, its value in the market. And because we are going to be involved with not just energy storage solutions, but solar power purchase agreements and any other renewable energy power purchase agreement, smart contracts on the Ethereum blockchain just make sense, right? We don't need an intermediary to hold the contracts for us when it's already faster, more efficient, and cheaper on the Ethereum blockchain. So now, it is a consensus network that enables a new payment system and a completely digital money. We're talking about the blockchain for Bitcoin, guys. It is the first decentralized peer-to-peer payment network that is powered by its users with no central authority or middlemen. Bitcoin was the first practical implementation and is currently the most prominent triple-entry bookkeeping system in existence. Everyone has access to all of the source code all of the time, and any developer can review or modify the software code. As such, the identity of Bitcoin's inventor is probably as relevant today as the identity of the person who invented paper. Guys, it doesn't matter who brought this amazing technology to us. At the end of the day, they're really not in it for fame, glory. Some say that really they're not in it for the monetary side, but obviously, guys, the value that they're providing the world is phenomenal. So now the authenticity of each transaction is protected by digital signatures corresponding to the sending addresses, therefore allowing all users to have full control over sending Bitcoins. Thus, there is no fraud, no chargebacks, and no identifying information that could be compromised, resulting in identity theft. Which, guys, remember, many of you know somebody that have had their information hacked, whether it was through Kmart or Home Depot or banks, and it just sucks having your information taken from you and used for, just for fraud in general. We've all heard stories of people that couldn't get jobs because people were opening up, credit card, new credit cards with their information, getting mortgages, cars, employment, tickets. I mean, you name it, guys. When it comes to identity theft, it's horrible. But this is why a lot of people are excited about not having, as much liability on the blockchain as having a central authority holding all your information. So now the first Bitcoin specification and proof of concept was published in 2009 by an unknown individual under the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto, who revealed little about himself and left the project in late 2010. The Bitcoin community has since grown exponentially. Satoshi's anonymity often raises unjustified concerns because of a misunderstanding of the open source nature of Bitcoin. So now, why Bitcoins, guys? Bitcoins can be used to buy merchandise anonymously. In addition, international payments are easy and cheap because Bitcoins are not tied to any country or subject to regulation. Small businesses may like them because there are no credit card fees. Remember, guys, interchange, pretty high. Some people just buy Bitcoins as an investment, hoping that they'll go up in value. Now, obviously, guys, the people in 2010 that bought Bitcoins at like 10 cents, 50 cents, $1, for those people that are still holding it today or selling it on today's market, do the math. If you have a calculator, pull it out so I can show you something real quick. Let's say that you bought 1,000 Bitcoin, even at $1 back in the day in 2010, 2011. And let's say you held on to that, right? And let's say you sold it in today's market. Or let's just say that maybe you sold it when it got to $100. I'll give you two examples. If you had 1,000 Bitcoin, early on in its existence, if you saw Bitcoin like you're seeing XeCoin right now, and again, we don't say that XeCoin and Bitcoin, have any parallels, but I just want to show you numbers in general. If you took 1,000 Bitcoin that you bought for $1, right? You made a $1,000 purchase at the time, and if you sold 1,000 Bitcoins when it reached $100, you're talking about $100,000, right? But now do the math in today's market. If you had 1,000 Bitcoin back in the day and you sold it on today's prices, let's just say that it's at $1,000. What's 1,000 times 1,000? $1 million. Not bad for a $1,000 purchase back in 2010, 2011, right? So what I tell people is one of the very first transactions of Bitcoin, a gentleman was really hungry and wanted a pizza, and he wanted 2 pizzas right? But nobody was accepting his Bitcoin. So he sent somebody 10,000 Bitcoin so they can buy him a pizza. In today's market, guys, that is worth $10 million. Probably the most expensive pizza in the history of pizzas. I hope that pizza was so good. I hope that he literally savored every bite of that pizza, because we hear stories like that all the time. Again, nobody really knew what digital currency was back in the day, but I'm pretty sure that he wishes he would have kept his 10,000 Bitcoin, right? So now, how does Bitcoin work? From a user perspective, Bitcoin is nothing more than a mobile app or computer program that provides a personal Bitcoin wallet and enables a user to send and receive Bitcoins. Behind the scenes, the Bitcoin network is sharing a massive public ledger called the blockchain. This ledger contains every transaction ever processed, which enables a user's computer to verify the validity of each transaction. Now, acquiring Bitcoins, guys. You can buy it on an exchange. Several marketplaces called Bitcoin exchanges allow people to buy or sell Bitcoins using different currencies. At the time of this, we've been training people on Bitcoin for a while, guys. But back in the day, Mt. Gox was one of the largest Bitcoin exchanges. It's no longer in business. Now we have companies like Coinbase, Bitfinex, Bitstamp, Kraken, Polynex. I mean, there are so many global exchanges, but literally anybody can go through a global exchange, or you can go to localbitcoins.com, and on the localbitcoins.com, guys, you can literally buy Bitcoins person to person, right? Again, near-field communication is an amazing thing, because if they've got a QR code, boom, it's a quick transaction. So now transfers. People can send Bitcoins to each other using mobile apps or their computers. It's similar to sending cash digitally. Again, many of you have amazing phones, right? So it's as easy as just kind of pointing each other's phone at one another, and boom, transaction done. So now let's talk about mining. People compete to mine Bitcoins using computers to solve complex math puzzles. This is how Bitcoins are created. Currently, a winner is rewarded with 25 Bitcoins roughly every 10 minutes. Now, owning Bitcoins. Bitcoins are stored in a digital wallet which exists either in the cloud or on a user's computer. The wallet is a kind of virtual bank account that allows users to send or receive Bitcoins, pay for goods, or save their money. Unlike bank accounts, Bitcoin wallets are not insured by the FDIC. So now, anonymity. Though each Bitcoin transaction is recorded in a public log, names of buyers and sellers are never revealed, only their wallet IDs. While that keeps Bitcoin users' transactions private, it also lets them buy or sell anything without easily tracing it back to them. That is why it has become the currency of choice for people online, and it says buying drugs or other illicit activities. Literally, guys, there's good things and bad things to every technology. But at the end of the day, it's like I tell people, cash is the same thing, right? People buy all kinds of things with cash, but this is why people love digital currency, because again, it's not controlled by a government. It's not controlled by a central banking authority. So now, who controls the Bitcoin network? Nobody owns the Bitcoin network, much like no one owns the technology behind email or the internet. Now, Bitcoin transactions are verified by Bitcoin miners, which has an entire industry, and Bitcoin cloud mining options. While developers are improving the software, they cannot force a change in the Bitcoin protocol, because all users are free to choose what software and version they use. So now, who controls the Bitcoin network? In order to stay compatible with each other, all users need to use software complying with the same rules. Bitcoin can only work correctly with a complete consensus among all users. Therefore, all users and developers have a strong incentive to protect this consensus. So, sponsors for free Bitcoins. Many people new to Bitcoin are curious about how to get some, right? Bitcoin faucets, places where Bitcoins are given away for free, have been a part of spreading Bitcoin since the earliest days. But one problem is running out of Bitcoins to give. This is why we have figured out a sustainable way to give away free Bitcoins with sponsors. Now, exchanges, guys. These are some of the massive exchanges right now that are on the market. Many of you know that use Coinbase wallets. Coinbase is one of the largest exchanges in the world. It operates one of the most popular wallets and is a simple way to buy Bitcoin. I think right now you get a $5 to $10 bonus to sign up. Local Bitcoins. You can always go to localbitcoins.com, and it matches buyers and sellers online and in person locally worldwide. BitQuick claims to be one of the fastest ways you can buy Bitcoin. BitBargain has a vast range of different payment options for UK buyers. Coin Corner allows purchases with credit and debit cards for verified users. And Bitalicious, a peer-to-peer platform for individuals to buy, sell, or trade Bitcoin and altcoins. Zappo is known for its ease of use and Bitcoin cold storage vaults. So now advantages. No third-party interpretations. One of the most widely publicized benefits of Bitcoin is that governments, banks, and other financial intermediaries have no way to interrupt user transactions or place freezes on Bitcoin accounts. The system is purely peer-to-peer. Users experience a greater degree of freedom than with national currencies. Now, purchases are not taxed. Since there is no way for third parties to identify, track, or intercept transactions that are denominated in Bitcoins, one of the major advantages of Bitcoin is that sales taxes are not added onto any purchases. So now, mobile payments. Like with many online payment systems, Bitcoin users can pay for their coins anywhere they have internet access. This means that purchasers never have to travel to a bank or a store to buy a product. However, unlike online payments made with U.S. bank accounts or credit cards, personal information is not necessary to complete any transaction. So, obviously the future in question, right? No one knows what will become of Bitcoin. It is mostly unregulated, but that could change. Governments are concerned about taxation and their lack of control over the currency. Guys, and this concludes our training for tonight. Thank you very much for spending some quality time with us this evening, guys. We hope that this provided value for you. We hope that obviously you can share this video. We'll put it on YouTube so that you can download it on your own computer and share it with your teams around the world. Obviously, guys, make sure that every day you're sharing some information, because at the end of the day, all we do with the Power on Xpress and XeCoin, we share our knowledge. And we allow people to believe in themselves, to understand that what they have in front of them is the ability to change their financial situations for generations to come, guys. We're talking about creating generational wealth, not just for you, not just for your kids, but your kids' kids. That's really generational wealth. We call it last name money, right? But nothing will build itself, guys. You've got to wake up with a determined, literally, you got to have like a lion spirit in the morning. Because at the end of the day, guys, if you think about the Sahara, right, in Africa, every single morning, a lion wakes up and understands that he has to run faster than the slowest gazelle, and every gazelle understands one thing, that they got to run faster than the slowest gazelle. So at the end of the day, I tell people, be the fastest gazelle every morning with the information, guys. Get in the hands of people that are hungry to win, that need a financial miracle. There's so many people struggling right now, guys, working 9-to-5 jobs where people are telling them how much they're worth. And you have the ability to be their financial miracle. So once again, guys, my name is Max Garza III. I'm calling out North America. We will see you Monday afternoon for the European Power on Xpress webinar. Other than that, have a beautiful weekend, guys, and keep doing what you're doing, because every single one of you on this webinar has so much talent, and we're super proud of each and every one of you. Have a wonderful evening, guys. This webinar is now adjourned. God bless.